Welcome to The Wild Edge, a mission-driven podcast exploring the pulse between humanity and nature and the stories that reconnect us to the awe of our wildlife and the lands all of us call home. There are some things that you see in life that change you, not in a dramatic lightning strike kind of way. Sometimes it's quieter than that. Sometimes it's like the look in an animal's eyes, a pelican starving beside a boat, a horse who was given everything to humans and still ended up discarded, an elephant standing at the edge of a village caught between survival and conflict. And once you see it, once you really see it, something shifts. You can try to go back to normal. You can try to look the other way, but I can't. And that's really why I'm here. That's why I make these films. That's why I started this podcast. And that's why this first episode is called Why I Can't Look Away. I grew up in Australia with animals all over the place. Dogs, sheep, cows, rescued kangaroos, chickens, horses. They weren't just background in my life, they were family. They had personalities, fears, moods, friendships, preferences. They were funny, they were stubborn, and they were sensitive. They knew things. And I think from a very, very young age, I understood something that I wish more people remembered. Animals are not lesser beings moving through our world. They're living their own lives with their own experiences on the same planet that we all share. And that's a belief that has never left me. It was back when I was a kid, I had this realization that the world is just not built fairly for them. The older I got, the more I started to understand the scale of what animals are up against. It isn't just one injured bird or one starving pelican, one abused horse, one elephant raiding crops because its habitat is disappearing because we're taking away from it. It's a pattern. We take their land, we poison their water, and we warm their oceans. We build into their habitats, and then we punish them for showing up. We create the conflict, and then far too often, it's the animals that pay the price. And that's the main part why I can't look away from it. Because behind every statistic is a living being. Behind every wildlife conflict is usually an animal trying to survive in the world. And you know what? We've made it really hard for them. So why film? Why documentaries? Because film lets people feel what they might otherwise ignore. Film for me became the way to ask people to care. Not through lectures, not through guilt, but through story. Because when you meet the rescuers, these amazing people, the veterinarians, the conservationists, the community members, the people on the front lines, and when you see the animals that they're fighting for, something changes. These issues stop being abstract. They become personal. And that's what I want to do with these films. I want people to see the pelican not just as a bird, but as an individual, as wildlife fighting to survive. It's an individual. I want people to see that the horse is not something used up to be thrown away, but as a sentient being who deserves better. I want people to see the elephant not just as a problem animal, but as an animal trying to exist in a landscape humans rapidly changing. The goal is not just awareness, the goal is coexistence. The hard truth, this is just not easy, and I won't pretend this work is easy either. It's emotionally hard, it's financially hard, it's logistically hard. There are days when I wonder how I'm going to keep going, how I'm going to fund the next project, how I'm going to fund the next shoot, finish the next edit, get the next story out into the world. But then I think about the animals. I think about the rescuers who answer the calls anyway, the people who pick up the broken birds, the starving sea lions, the abandoned horses, the animals most people will never see. I was out on a boat the other day, and there was this beautiful sea lion sitting up on one of the buoys, and he had so much fishing line wrapped around his throat. Right? The people who rescue those animals, they don't get to look away. So I don't think I should either. So this podcast is an invitation. It's part of the mission. It's a place for stories behind the films, the things that I'm learning, the people I'm meeting, and the uncomfortable truths, but also the hope. Because you know what? There is hope. There are people doing extraordinary work every single day. There are solutions. There are ways to live differently, choose differently, and build differently, and protect what is still there.
But we have to be willing, right? We must be willing. And I don't believe that we are separate from the natural world. I don't think that you think we're separate from the natural world. I believe we're all a part of it. And if we destroy it, we destroy ourselves too. Don't think that we're going to survive in this world if we destroy our ecosystem, because it's just not going to happen. So this is my origin story, my reason, my line in the sand. I make these films because animals matter, because wild places matter, and because coexistence is still possible. And because once you truly see what's happening, you have a choice. You can look away, or you can become part of the change. And I know which one I choose. Thank you for joining me on The Wild Edge. And if you'd like to follow the making of our upcoming documentary, Wings in Crisis, please subscribe, share this channel, and join our movement towards human-wildlife coexistence. Because the future of wildlife, and ultimately our own future, depends on what we choose to do next.